Hi, and welcome to Press Play. It is episode 4, and we are changing it up just a little bit this week. David is going to be playing some Call of Duty, and we're going to be discussing Black Panther.
We just decided to compress it all into one segment. We're going to try it out, see how it feels. If you guys like what you're seeing with the format for this episode, leave us a comment down below or tweet at us. The Twitter's in the description. We'd love to hear your feedback to make this show better. So today we're going to be discussing Black Panther while I'm going to be playing Call of Duty. So we both saw Black Panther. What did you think of it?
Just like my general thoughts was, I think it's a very good movie. However, all the hype on social media, I don't think it was as incredible masterpiece as everybody was saying, but I still really liked it. But I didn't think it was as good as they were saying.
Yeah. Full spoiler warning, because I'm sure we're going to get into some spoiler points, but you can just watch the gameplay if you want with no audio, but I don't know if that'd be interesting. But so I thought it was great. I love how it flipped the standards on its head. It's a different movie. It's a Marvel movie, yes, but it's a very different Marvel movie, if you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean. I definitely thought it was kind of different and unique in its own way. It definitely stands apart from kind of the rest of the cinematic universe in its own way. What did you think of the villain Killmonger?
Wow, Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger. Not just like the performance that he did. The performance was great. It was an interesting character, but just the whole reading about his process as an actor is very inspiring. Because what he did was he pulled basically Heath Ledger, like Heath Ledger did for the Joker, where he isolated himself and got into character. So he started as soon as he finished, I think it was Creed, with actually the same director as Black Panther. He wrapped up filming and he just started growing his hair out for the Killmonger role, and just got into character. He didn't speak to his family members for months because he knew that was how the character was going to be. He was very isolated, so he had no social life. He was very off the grid, growing out his hair. And I think that's really cool.
Definitely commitment. I didn't know any of that. That's really good. I thought he was a very interesting villain, and even just kind of the dynamic between him and Black Panther himself. The fact that they're cousins, I thought that was really unique in its own way.
Yeah, I think that was a really cool surprise. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, and I didn't know anything about the movie really going into it. I only knew what I saw from the one time I saw the trailer. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was and I had pretty high expectations just to be what everybody was saying, and it for the most part I think lived up to that. What did you think of? Well, one character that I really liked was Okoye. She was, I guess, kind of the head of the royal guard.
She was the general, yeah, with the husband. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's...
See, the entire time I was watching the movie, I was kind of distracted when I saw her because I knew her face, but I could not remember what she was from.
What she was from, yeah. I hate that when you can't remember.
Yeah, and then I found out she was Michonne from The Walking Dead, so that was really cool. She did an incredible job. I was really blown away with her performance. And her character was just incredible, too.
Yeah, and I love the dynamic with her husband, where there was a moment where once Killmonger came to power, I knew that there was going to be something where the husband was going to go along, because he had killed Claw. So I knew that was going to be conflict between the two of them, which I thought was really cool. That big fight scene that they have with the rhinos and everything. And then she confronts him and he backs down. I thought that was really cool. And there's a lot of humor in the movie, which I liked too. There was the whole vegetarian joke.
Yeah.
He's we're going to eat you, and then he laughs and he's we're vegetarians. And it was just that's really...
Yeah, and Black Panther's little sister, she was hilarious. I really liked her.
The what are those jokes? That was awesome.
I was just It's so weird, but it totally works.
There was even a SoundCloud mixtape joke, which for me is a guy that makes music and puts it on SoundCloud, that like really, I was laughing like really hard in the theater, and I looked at my friend and was like, really? They really did that? That is awesome. Yeah. And then I remember like seeing on Twitter the next day, it was like, was there a SoundCloud joke? Or was there a what are those joke in Black Panther? Or did I just imagine that? I was like, the humor was on point for a Marvel movie. And it was like, Marvel movies always have that humor, which is nice. And like with Robert Downey Jr. and stuff, and I feel like they knew that they needed that, and they found a Black Panther way to do it with like the villain and everything, and it was just
like it never really took you like out of the story.
Yeah,
like it kind of worked.
It flowed. It worked.
Yeah, another thing I really liked about the movie was the way they blended like the landscape of like Wakanda and like that whole, I guess, element with like the very like modern like South Korean like car chase scene.
Yeah,
that was incredible.
And the whole invisible car, and like the way they did, the way the set design for Wakanda and the production was just really good. The Black Panther costume was really good. I actually believe that the person who made one of the people who made the costumes was from St. Louis. I heard it on the news that he was the person responsible for like sewing like all the costumes together, which the costumes were.
They were incredible.
What did you think of the soundtrack? You had like the original stuff written, and then you had like the Kendrick Lamar produced album that was like, it was released like a week or so before the movie came out, but then you had those Kendrick Lamar original tracks for the movie spiced throughout. What did you think of that? I thought
it really worked. Like I mean, the first time like I really picked up like on like that kind of like modern soundtrack element was when they walked into that nightclub in South Korea and The Weeknd was playing.
Yeah,
and I was like,
was one of the songs.
I was like, this works so well.
Yeah, more movies need to do that. Like you have Guardians of the Galaxy, where it's like
the most incredible soundtrack ever.
Like so good, and then I love the whole soundtrack and the whole like incorporating a contemporary artist like that. And it's not just The Weeknd. Like if you look, there's more. I think there's more from the album that like didn't make the movie. But I mean, you have like The Weeknd, you have Kendrick Lamar, there's Vince Staples in there. So many good artists, and you have like the original composers, Ludwig Göransson. I can never pronounce his name because he's like Swedish, but he's Childish Gambino's producer. If you know who Childish Gambino is. And just I watched the video where he explained how he traveled to Africa and the instruments that like don't exist anywhere else that he used. Like it's sort of like, I think it's called a talking drum or a talking head drum that they used a lot throughout. It's like the first thing you hear is like the whenever Black Panther's on screen, there's like that little melody or little drum part.
Right.
That would play, and that's basically, I think it was they would play the turn his T'Challa. They would play that on the drum, like the melody or whatever, and that was like used throughout the scene. And then like the first thing you hear is that guy. It's like the chant when he's like in the plane or whatever heading home. That's like the first thing you hear. Apparently that's like a tribal thing, and this one artist that they recorded for the soundtrack, that's like a tribal thing that they would sing like when an elephant would die, because I guess the tribe like cherishes elephants, and since they're talking about his father dying, they recorded that and they put that in there, and they do that at the end when Killmonger dies. I thought that was like really, really cool the way they did it. So
yeah, I think one thing you can absolutely credit everybody who made the movie with was they really gave the fans what they wanted. I mean, it was absolutely excellently done, and everybody knew how important this was to a lot of people, and I think they did an incredible job on delivering, kind of what they said they were going to deliver. So I don't think anybody was really disappointed.
Yeah, I love, like, I heard like stories of people showing up dressed in like African, like people would bring dressed like African sort of like tribal garb, and like they would bring like drums and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and just like seeing them so happy and like renting out theaters and just filling theaters and celebrating their culture and having a movie to celebrate that, I think that is like really cool for that thing. And I know ABC actually like rented out a theater to go see it, Association of Black Collegians, and they had so much fun. And
I saw that, yeah.
So cool to see these people like getting really excited about this movie, and it's something that everybody.
Yeah, everybody still enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't just for like one group of people; it was for everybody, and it was. I mean, it was really a great movie. But did you? I'm wondering because I have some thoughts. Did you have any criticisms for the movie?
Trying to think back. I mean, some of it. A friend of mine, like when the part where they're in the junkyard and they Killmonger kills Claw and kills off the rest of them. Claw was a really interesting character, and at that point we didn't know a whole lot about Killmonger. So at one point when he killed him, my friend turned to me and he goes, "They just killed off the most interesting character in the movie," which I kind of agreed with him at first, but then Killmonger got off to like he got way more interesting,
Right?
Because it's like they like right before he said that, he did the thing with his mouth where he like
when he showed
his
like
Wakandan, yeah. It's like, whoa, like what's the deal there? And then there's like the whole like backstory. You had Martin Freeman, I think is his name, explaining he's the guy. He's Dr. Watson from Sherlock is how I know him, but he was the Agent Ross or whatever, and he like explained that whole thing.
Oh, like Killmonger's like backstory with
Killmonger's backstory, and like, oh, he's like a Black Ops like aficionado. And it's like that's like cliche. That's like every movie villain ever. It's like somebody has a military background and they're like so secretive, nobody knows about them. Like that was kind of like one thing. It was like really, but then they redeemed themselves with Killmonger being very, very interesting. So that's kind of like the one thing I was kind of like, they killed off this Claw dude. This Claw dude is really cool. I like the flashback at the beginning to Oakland. That was really cool.
I liked the flashback, except because like they didn't like go like really explain that until I guess maybe like half an hour into the movie. So I was constantly trying to figure out who those people in that scene were. Yeah. So that was kind of distracting, I would say. I guess that'd be a criticism.
Because you were trying to figure out if like this person that's on screen now is like the person from the flashback. And I remember that a little bit, but
yeah, and that also has to do with like me not really knowing like any background going into the movie. Yeah. But as far as Claw goes, when he got killed off, I wasn't mad about it because I mean it was kind of like a subtle plot twist, like oh he's not the actual bad guy.
Oh, cool.
But that was kind of cool. And then Killmonger, he was very interesting. I loved that he was Black Panther's cousin. I thought that was so cool. The only thing I had an issue with his character was some of his dialogue came across, at least to me and the person I saw the movie with, as maybe like a little cliche.
We're gonna burn it all, start over, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, it seemed a little like stereotypical villain. I thought for such an incredible actor, they could have done maybe just like a little bit better. But if they missed the mark, it was just by like just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their bank account's definitely not showing that they missed the mark by much.
Yeah.
They're making like so much money.
Very true.
Off of that movie.
And I know you said you might see it again.
Yeah, I might see it again.
I think I might see it again too, just to like really just take it all in.
Yeah. So I feel like there's more there. Like I didn't even stay for the extra credits scenes, but the after credits scenes, which I should.
Did you, or have you seen anything about them, or do you know?
I know what I think there were two.
Yeah, the first one, it was just Black Panther at like.
Yeah, I saw that one, but I didn't see the second one.
The second one, it was the sister, Black Panther's sister, and she was like with some kids, and then I'm so far behind on the cinematic
Bucky
universe.
Barnes or something.
Yeah, he just like showed up, and he was like, "Oh, I'm fine."
Yeah, because they were like, there's one in I think it's Civil War, or Winter Soldier, one of the two, where Bucky gets like injured and they take him to Wakanda to like recover. It's like the first movie that Black Panther was like shown in. He like went to, I think they like fixed his arm because they're like the only place around that could like fix it. I mean, besides like Tony Stark.
Yeah, and I was like I said, I was behind, so I didn't know anything that really happened with Bucky yet. I'm just right now like rewatching all the Marvel movies, but he just like showed up and he had one arm, and I was like, well, something really bad happened to you in Civil War.
They really loved the whole one arm thing because you had Claw had one arm, and then you have Bucky that shows up with one arm, which I thought that was kind of cool. How they had like people with like the villain, like the main villain for like the first part of the movie, and like is missing an arm. I thought that was really cool.
Right, and you couldn't even tell at first because it was like
it's like a robotic arm that he like stole from Wakanda.
So yeah, I really liked the way they did that. But as far as like even like, up to yesterday, like I'm still seeing stuff on social media about Black Panther. There was a big thing trending. It was like, who would win in a fight, Wonder Woman or Okoye? And I thought it was pretty obvious that Wonder Woman would win, just seeing Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't seen Wonder Woman, but I know like how powerful Wonder Woman is, and I feel like it would be pretty close.
Yeah, like she can take down Superman. So, I mean, you can absolutely love Okoye as much as you want because I think she is incredible.
Yeah, she's really cool.
But Wonder Woman's like a demigod, I think. So, I think it's unlikely that Okoye would win.
Yeah.
But she put up a good fight.
I thought it was really cool how they showed like the tribal like aspect of Wakanda. Like you had like this like the thing where they fight on the waterfall, and then like you can like challenge for the throne, and the whole thing where they lay down and they like cover them
with
like
the
color sand, and it's like they go to like the afterlife, and he like sees his father.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
That was, and not even just like the two scenes where they were fighting on the waterfall. Just so beautiful visually.
Yeah.
Just to see like all the tribes like up on the waterfall, and they're all wearing like different colors. That was.
And they all have like the chants that they would do, and all like there's like that weird dude with like the mouthpiece that would like come out. I think it was like a mouthpiece that like came out to here, and it was like every time he was on screen, you couldn't help but look at it because it was like really interesting and really unique.
Yeah, it was like gauges for your bottom lip. Every time I saw it, I was like, that's.
Like, oh, there's that dude.
Yeah, it's like I won't forget you. Oh goodness.
Yeah. I'm not doing too well. 9-16.
You're distracted. It's fine.
But I haven't played this game in a while, so that's my excuse.
Yeah. Another character I really liked was Nakia. She was like Black Panther's like ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, and then they're like, are they gonna like? Is he gonna make her the queen, or what's gonna happen? And then like at the end they like decided we're gonna get back together, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, and it wasn't like overbearing on the plot, which I really appreciated. So that was really nice. Let's see. Was there any other like major takeaways you had from the movie?
Just a great job to everybody involved. From top to bottom, you made the movie fantastic. The editing was great. The music was great. It's taken years to make this movie. I know there was like a time in the 90s where there was totally different people and they were gonna do it, but it like fell through. But it was all for a reason. It all paid off because you have this marvelous film that comes out. So all in all, great job, top to bottom. Michael B. Jordan, the director, everybody did a great job. It was different, it was unique, it was what was needed. And they didn't involve other Marvel characters, which was probably pretty hard to do, because usually you have like one Marvel character that crosses over.
Right.
But we did not have that. They let it stand on its own, which was awesome. He can interact with people later. And like the second Black Panther movie, which I'm sure, as we're speaking, there's probably a meeting going on right now where they're planning the next one. Right. And I know Michael B. Jordan's already getting ready for his next movie, which is Creed 2. He's like, that dude never stops.
And one thing I think is really nice about the movie is that I think it'll stand the test of time. It'll be one of those Marvel movies that once everything's all said and done, there's going to be, gosh, maybe like 20 when we're all said and done. It's going to be one that people like think of as one of their favorites.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be the ones that stands out for sure. Like the original Iron Man, like still stands out for sure. Like this Black Panther movie is going to stand out. Like a couple of the Captain America movies and the Avengers movies stand out. So great film. Thank you all for tuning in. It's a little bit shorter episode, a little bit different. We'll be back next week. If you enjoyed this format and you want to see more of this similar style, occasionally, depending on what our setup is with the guest, let us know, and we will take that into consideration. Be sure to follow us on Twitter. We want more interaction over there. We might have some polls coming at you soon as to who we should have as guests. We're in the process of locking down our guests for the next episode, which I think is going to be really exciting. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you in the next episode.